You surprised to see me? I'm here again. How are you feeling today? I want to jump right on into this topic, guys. Firstly, you need to follow me on Instagram. Make sure your post notifications are turned on so that you're notified every single time that I post, because surprise, hi, it's me. So this is gonna definitely be a very chit-chatty sort of video. I have a lot to say. We're gonna be talking about saving yourself and celibacy, abstinency. Believe it or not, I know this sounds like a very stereotypical YouTuber saying that this video was highly requested, but it actually was. I'm not even kidding you. Every single time that I post a poll on my Instagram, everyone's like, you guys need to talk about celibacy, abstinency. One thing that you guys need to not abstain from is your skin, okay? Never neglect the health of your skin, guys. Summer is around the corner, okay? Summer bodies are made in winter. I am making sure I'm getting myself in check, and I'm making sure that the skin stays in check, because whether it's summer or winter, we want our skin to be healthy and look nice. And what better way than this amazing mask that I was gifted by Teamy. Okay, angels, so this is my skin. Of course, I have on absolutely no makeup, literally at all. And I'm going to apply this mask. I do have a couple spots like here and like here on my head because it's gonna be that time of the month soon. And so watch me put this mask on, guys, and it should reduce the redness over here, and I can't wait to see the results. I'm gonna put this on for about 15 minutes. I'll show you guys with me applying it on, and so you guys will get to see that whole little process. So now I'm gonna put this mask on, guys. I'm putting it on with a wooden spoon, and I know I'm not looking directly into the camera, but that's because I'm just trying to put it on. I'm definitely putting it here for where that spot is. And I have acne prone skin, for those of you that were curious. And also I have I would say combination oily skin, which I have learned to have an appreciation for, considering the fact that the more oil your skin produces, the younger that you will always look. So I actually have learned to be grateful for that. So I'm putting the mask all over my face. And this is supposed to help with the redness on the skin, because you know green usually cancels out any redness, and it helps with texture. This mask, it has a lot of really great ingredients in it, such as matcha, green tea, aloe. It has sweet almond oil, which is very good for the skin, and bentonite clay, which clears and detoxes the skin and takes out the impurities. So what you do is you just put this mask on, maybe on a self-care Sunday, and then you let it sit for 15 minutes, and then I'll show you the result. I'll show you what it looks like when it dries. I also like to put some under my neck. I know that seems a little bit weird, but I do break out under my neck too a lot of the times, and I think it's because of sugar. And for those of you that are wondering, why is she wearing this scarf on her head? I just got back from a workout, and I washed my face before I put this on, actually. So that's why I'm wearing this. Cause you know, when you're at the gym, you don't always want to wear a wig. And I forgot. I'm why don't I just put a scarf on and just make it look like a little ponytail situation, and then just go work out, and I'll be good. Yeah, guys, leave this on for 15 minutes, and I will be back once it dries. Okay, angels, so as you could see, 15 minutes has passed, and this is drying on my face. I'm gonna get real close on you, and you can see it's dry. I can really move my mouth. I had to wipe it from across my lip before, because I was eating while this was going on. So again, just like I said, I have acne prone skin, and this really helps to draw the toxins out. I'm assuming, I guess, having the bentonite clay in there really draws out a lot of those skin impurities. And this mask is also said to help with a lot of texturing with the skin as well, which is perfect, especially for someone like me that wears makeup a lot, and I have to wear makeup for work and in my videos and things like that. So I'm gonna wash this mask off, and then I'm gonna show you guys what my skin looks like after. Okay, angels, I'm back. This is exactly what my skin looks like right when I wash this off. I don't have on any moisturizer or anything. So we're gonna get up close on my skin to see. As you guys can see, I still have this spot right here because this is a fresh pimple. So it's I guess drawing the toxins out of this. I feel it's a little bit more swollen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna pop it, not on screen for all my pimple popper lovers out there. But yeah, so I obviously look very refreshed. I love the way I look. I feel I don't know. Like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I feel like it made me look like better, like already. I've used this mask like definitely a couple times since I have gotten this product. I've had it now for a little over a month that I've been using this. So I highly recommend you guys get this. The coupon code, guys, will definitely be in the description box below, and it'll also be on the screen. I also want to mention, I really do enjoy the way this mask smells. It smells really good, like a fresh green tea type of smell. And I really feel like even in my skin texture, I feel like it already has improved like the skin texture as well. Like it feels very like soft and just like it really pulls all the dirt and everything out of the skin. And if you guys want to be a quality queen, you definitely want to pick up this mask because it's important to get all that dirt out of your pores. And for those of you that are not able to go to the, spa or get a facial and things like that to get those impurities out, this is the, cheapest way to go about it, is getting a mask that's effective and works. And this is definitely one of them. So make sure you check that out. And now we're gonna get on to the rest of the video. Guys, like I said, we are gonna be talking about saving yourself and also essentially how to be heartbreak free. So I actually did talk about this topic a little bit on my podcast episode. Check that out, Quality Queen Control. We are already in season 2. I've been more consistent, guys, with my podcast than I have been on this channel, but that's another story. But if you keep up with me, then you would already know that. Hello, hi, how are you? Let's define what being celibate versus what being abstinent actually mean. So I'm gonna pull up the definition. And to be celibate means abstaining from marriage and sexual relations, typically for religious reasons. And abstinence means the fact or practice of restraining oneself from indulging in something. You can abstain from alcohol, you can abstain from junk food, you can abstain from sex, really anything. I think it's very important to identify these two terms because, like the terms jealousy and envy, a lot of people don't understand that they actually have different definitions. So this is my first question to you guys. So how does this correlate to dating specifically? And how do you know if or are any of these options actually right for you? So what we're gonna do firstly is identify why we want to refrain from sexual activity. Is it based on religious reasons? Is it based on the fact that you just want solitude and you just don't want to? Is it based on the fact that maybe you want to wait because you desire commitment from someone? Figure out exactly what that is. A lot of the times, the amount of you guys that I speak to in my consults, by the way, you can reach me on Wizio if you guys want to consult with me. I absolutely love doing them. And the theme genuinely seems to be a lot of guys showing this emotional availability and willingness to really pursue you. And it seems like at the time, a lot of their actions are aligning with the things that they are saying. And I understand that when it comes to showing a lot of consistency in the beginning, it gets very comfortable for us. And so inevitably we tend to let our guards down because we're like, okay, depending on what that threshold is for each of us, it's usually never longer than a month, usually I can guarantee. And it's like, okay, this guy has shown me consistency for the past 2 weeks. The work here is done, I can let my guard down. And it's not necessarily a decision that we make like, okay, he's proved himself enough all the time. It just sort of naturally happens because it soothes our ego so well to know, oh my gosh, this person is really working hard. And now I feel like I'm comfortable enough to reciprocate some of that energy back. But then what happens when you let your guard down, right? Meaning you finally relax and think, okay, you naturally or subconsciously stop doing what it takes to actually obtain a commitment from that individual. And then let's say you sleep with him. Then after that, you sort of notice that he is getting busier. He is not answering your phone calls as much. He is working overtime and he didn't know. He is so tired he has to go to bed. He didn't call you when he got back home because he was so tired. He's gonna call you in the morning. The morning comes, oh, he woke up late for work. He's gonna call you on his break. On his break, he says his boss said he can't take his break. He'll call you when he gets home. When he gets home, he is going to go to the gym. He'll call you after he leaves the gym. When he leaves the gym, he goes back home. I'll call you on my way home from the gym. After that, I was so tired, I literally forgot. Like, I didn't even shower before I went to bed because I was so tired. And then the cycle sort of repeats. Isn't that convenient? So I I want you angels to be very careful, right? Because there is a lot to sort of unpack here. And unlike my normal style of videos where it's like a step-by-step of 1, 2, 3, this is more definitely of a discussion style because there's so much to talk about. When I look back and I recall 2 situations specifically, I remember the first guy seemed very communicative and very open in conversation. And it did make me a little suspicious because I am definitely very slow-paced and steady when it comes to getting to know someone. And it did feel good though to my ego. Even though I wasn't feeding into it too much, it felt very good to my ego. So the second that communicative act was dropped and I began to see inconsistency, it genuinely made me now chase after him kind of to figure out what happened. It was such a chaotic situation where literally this individual just disappeared one time. I actually spoke about this, briefly in one of my videos about gaslighting, where I remember there was one instance where it was over the weekend. We had a date. He showed up hungover to the date and then literally said he was going to reschedule, never did. I'm sure he went out that night. And I don't know, because this happened so long ago, I barely remember. I think I asked him if he wanted to go out that night. He said he was going to a basketball game with his cousins. That was a complete lie. And ultimately, I didn't hear from him literally that entire weekend. So I left him on the date that actually never happened around 3 p.m. And I didn't hear from him until, I believe, Monday morning. And I remember I called his phone on Saturday night just to see where he was, and a random person answered. It was a guy, and it was like, hello? It was very odd, and then it hung up. So I couldn't even get in contact with him. It was very odd behavior. And then literally Monday, this person sold me a story saying that they left their phone at their dad's job because their dad works at some sort of car dealership, and he said he left his phone at his dad's job. And all I'm thinking is, why does that not feel like the truth? On top of that, how does that explain how I called you on Saturday night? Like someone answered the phone and it wasn't you and you disappeared. And then I also saw, because at the time you can see people's activity on Instagram. I saw him liking other girls' photos on the activity on Sunday night, which means he had his phone back on Sunday night, even if he did happen to leave it in his dad's office. So this was a very strange, circumstance. And ever since that situation happened specifically, I was so hell-bent on trying to get things back to how they were. Mind you, I was not even emotionally attached to this person, at least before all this happened. What actually made me think I was attached to this individual was me trying to gain that sense of power back, essentially, by, wait. You're the one that pursued me, and now you're literally disappearing and acting weird, and it's so incongruous to the beginning of this relationship. What exactly is going on? I was so confused. Principally, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because as it pertains to the blanket term of saving yourself, you want to save yourself emotionally, right? From people that come across as super open and communicative. Angels, when we first meet anyone in life, whether it's a platonic or romantic relationship, we show the best version of ourselves. Yes? Again, I always say this, we have to stop giving credit to fish for swimming. He opened the door for me, he's so different. Oh my gosh, like it's every little thing we're easily wowed by, and we are literally giving guys all this added credit for next to no reason, for doing things that are considered human decency. It's human decency. Some guys even want to sell you this Disney-like fantasy and dream of, wow, this is crazy. I've never felt this way before. Wow, I can see it right now. I feel like you're my future. So now you're telling yourself, okay, well, that's a little weird, but flattering at the same time. And he already is talking about having a future with me. First of all, you should be actually scared of someone that actually brings that up when they first meet you. That is not a normal thing. The older you get, you realize a lot of these very overly zealous type of overly charismatic men are very actually unattractive, because if they're like that with you, they're like that with everyone. Those are the type of guys that say I love you in a long distance online relationship and have zero plans to ever even come back up and visit you. Those are those types of men. You don't want people that are gonna play around with certain words. I think that is disgusting for someone to just throw the word I love you out and genuinely don't mean it, or to use definitive terms like, wow, you're my, like, I don't like those types of jokes. That's just me personally. I don't like when guys joke about, you know, oh, you're like, oh, I could see you as my wife or something like that. To me, that turns me off. I just don't like that type of talk. I don't find that funny. And this is my theory. So I think a lot of these guys, right, they want you to be so emotionally wanton. So they're probably thinking, okay, the more I consume of this girl's time, meaning, oh my gosh, this guy is asking you to see you 3 times, in 1 week. He has gone on 3 dates with you already in 1 week. And girl, it has happened to me before too. So I get it, but you have to space things out. Because to me, that's even off-putting to me too. When I first like someone I'm trying to see if I like them, and maybe there's that attraction there, or maybe I'm trying to figure it out, and I feel like you want to consume all of my time. That makes me feel like there's something going on here. Because if this is something that's real and genuine, then I'm not going to go anywhere. Best case scenario, I'll still be here. We pace ourselves. We act like human beings. We act like we are emotionally sound, and I wouldn't go anywhere. Worst case scenario, you try to consume all my time. I pick up on those cues and I disappear. And that's on you. Because I figured it out. Be careful of situations like that. That corresponds to saving yourself emotionally from toxic situations, saving yourself from wasted energy, wasted time, investing, your energy and time into an individual that it has a game plan. Because at the end of the day, angels, it is definitely number one a man's MO when they first meet you to sleep with you. And that is not offensive because that's just naturally how they are. But you have to be aware of the methods and how some of them are approaching the situation. And some guys, again, they want to rush and have this super emotional tie to you. Also talking at night till 3 a.m. Now, I know if you are someone that's on a schedule, you don't really have, maybe one night you may be able to talk till super late, but for the most part, a lot of us work. We have school. We are early risers. I'm an early riser. And I don't have time to be up talking to anyone till 3 a.m. in the morning because for my job, I use my voice. And I need my voice, which is my energy source, for my job. So I don't really have the time to be on the phone really at all talking to you in the wee hours of the night into the morning. It's not a thing for me. And it shouldn't be a thing for you either, especially on a consistent basis. Now, if you're in high school, I mean, maybe, because when I was in high school, I would, fall asleep on FaceTime with my boyfriend until I literally got into the building. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. I think I'd hang up to shower and then I'd FaceTime him maybe again on the bus, or I can't even remember. It was so long ago I graduated high school. You guys catch my drift. The point is, that's the game plan, angels. The game plan is, or could be, I should say, get this girl to open up. You talk to anyone at night. Everyone's gonna get real deep at night. Oh, how innovative, how original. Wait, what? Like, what do you mean, what's my sign? I had no idea that you were into astrology too. A lot of guys really aren't into this. Like, that's crazy. I feel like we're so connected. Wait, you're a Taurus too? So what do you think about twin flames? Have you ever had one? And then you literally go drift off into dreamland and you're thinking that this guy is so compatible with you and all these things. And it's like, that's the game plan, angels. That happened to me before too, even quite recently, where I was talking to this guy literally on FaceTime and he would message me every day sort of thing. I thought he was cute. I do like him. Again, I'm older now, so I don't really get wooed and cooed by these things. Like, after a while, a lot of the behavior is the same, and you'll catch on. It gets easier. And then he kind of just sort of fell off the face of the earth. We texted in the beginning of the day, and then we just never spoke again. Both of us, literally never spoke again. And I don't really speak unless I'm spoken to. And that type of, dynamic. So sometimes there are just no explanation for things. And we were up on FaceTime over the weekend, one Friday night. And I literally went to bed at literally like 3, 4 a.m. And all I'm thinking is, I have Pilates tomorrow morning. And I mean, I still went and I honored my word and I still woke up, but I was so tired. And it's kind of just like, that was a cute experience. But principally, it's like, for what? You know what I mean? And if I was naive and silly, I would have been like, wow, I can't believe we have so much in common. We even drive the same car. This is true. And wow, he said his mom would love me. Like reading into these words, this lip service, because it sounds good. It sounds good. And the more, solid that you are, self-actualized that you are, this really does come with age. I think, dare I say, this could happen when you are very young, meaning around 18 to 20 years old, or this comes later in life when you are, after 25, essentially. And the reason I say that is because when you were 18, let's say nothing really traumatic has happened to you really like that. I mean, when I was 18, nothing had ever happened to me that was significant ever enough really that would change my life, forever. It wasn't until I was 23 years old that I feel like life started to change very much. So I say all that to say, you want to make sure that you are aware of these tactics, that you are aware of when people are just kind of wasting your time. And it's not always going to be this immediate thing, but I will tell you this, overly charismatic guys are never the way to go because they are like that with everyone. You want someone that's going to be choosy, period. Now, here's what's interesting. I think the reason why we find ourselves in situations today where we easily get played is because when everything feels like a relationship, there is the mutual attraction, there is the, getting along, there is similar interests. Mix that with sleeping with someone, and the last thing really on your mind is, well, exactly what is this? Like, whoops, like, what did I do? What have I been? Especially if you've been rolling like this, multiple times. Maybe after the first time, you're like, dang, it's not even my man yet, but whatever. Or some people, worst case scenario, they just keep going because they're thinking that, well, everything's going great. And I know that he's going to eventually ask me to be his girlfriend. They have this confidence that it is great, but maybe not particularly in this area, because you can't just assume, because it takes two to tango. You cannot make this decision on your own on behalf of someone else and think that things are gonna magically piece together because you feel a certain way. Here's the thing, angels, as it pertains to saving yourself by whatever, that be celibacy, abstinence, saving yourself emotionally, balancing emotions and logic, it's all about balance. Too many people in life are too far on one end of the spectrum, and it drives me mad. It drives the earth sign in me mad. The grounded side of myself, it drives me mad. The thing is, communication is a prerequisite. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to identify the prerequisites in being in a dating relationship with you, being in a relationship with you at all. What are the prerequisites for you to entertain someone? Identify what those are. Why? Because that way you have kind of like a checklist, essentially, of what you are actually willing to accept and what you're not gonna give credit for. Okay, I'm not gonna give credit for someone that opens the door for me. It's nice, but that's a prerequisite. I'm not gonna give someone credit for responding to my text message in an appropriate, timely fashion, however you deem that. I'm not gonna give credit to someone for literally doing what they say they're gonna do. I'm not gonna give credit to someone for showing up and not standing me up to a date. You'd be surprised, because depending on the trauma that we have experienced in our lives, we are just so grateful to experience something that is so different from that, trauma, that we are just overly zealous and just diving into things. We have to save ourselves. We have to preserve our emotions. We have to balance our emotions and our logic. And I think it's important to consider what it takes actually to give yourself to someone, to give your body to someone. And maybe write it down if you have to. Because if we actually say out loud the things that we do or the things that we have accepted, and as a result, rewarded someone with our bodies, something that's priceless, I don't think a lot of us would be too happy. Why? Because think about it. If you knew, okay, this is what's gonna happen, girl. You're gonna meet this guy, right? And literally, he's gonna be super consistent for 2 weeks. And you were in a really bad place. You weren't even looking for a man, and he just happened to come along. So I guess that may be a situation of it's meant to be because you weren't looking and that kind of just poof, fell in your lap. Then you're going to let your guard down because, well, this is really nice and you weren't really looking for anything serious anyway. And now this guy hasn't spoken to you. Literally, he magically started getting busier 3 days after this happened. He's blaming it on work. He's blaming it on doing overtime at work. He's blaming it on he has a lot going on mentally. He's blaming it on he has a man period. Yes, I have heard this before. I literally just, whatever. He's blaming it on, that he was gonna be busy because he's in school. He's blaming it on give him time. He still wants to be with you, but he just needs to work some things out. Really? Huh. That's like really interesting that you all of a sudden had so much to figure out and get through, and you started working overtime as soon as you got with me. I don't know if that's bad luck on my end, or maybe if you're actually lying. Maybe that's more of the case, because it doesn't work like that. The amount of stories that I hear, my heart genuinely hurts for you guys. The amount of stories that I hear of you guys in circumstances where you're talking to guys that literally are so consistent, so communicative, all these different things, and it seems like their words are, matching with their actions. And angels, like I said, of course it is. If he says he's gonna meet you on Thursday for dinner and texts you on Wednesday night, and Thursday, hey sweetie, just checking in with you, just wanna confirm that we're on for tomorrow. Then the next day of the date, hey hun, just wanted to check in, can't wait to see you later, blah, 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 right? And actually shows up. Why is that so shocking to us? What has society turned into where, again, we are forced to honor and credit basic human decency when it comes to keeping our word when someone is interested in us? Look at how dwindled down and how the standards have really, really dropped there, that some of us feel the need to brag about these sort of things or feel very good about someone actually keeping their word. I don't know if I told this story before, but there was this guy that I guess Instagram DM'd me, and I sound so old, and he has a check mark. He's a sports player. I personally am not into famous people or sports players at all, but I was entertaining it. And long story short, this guy messages me saying, "What's up?" Our conversation was very dry. I'm bored. We end up ceasing communication. I don't even want to call it we were communicating. It was more of I don't even want to say we were talking. I want to say we had a conversation, one singular conversation. And then we never spoke again. And the next month, I believe, he messaged me again asking me what was I doing for Valentine's Day. And ultimately proceeded to make plans with me. Long story short, again, this isn't my first rodeo. I am very intuitive as well, and I can feel if something's actually gonna happen or not. I know what dates are actually going to happen, and I know which dates actually aren't. And I have yet to be wrong, genuinely. So I say all that to say, long story short, this guy, literally, I already texted one of my friends and I said, this guy literally has not spoken to me all day. So plans canceled. I wrote him actually earlier in the day, in the morning time, because I kind of did want to cancel, I'm not gonna lie. And I was at the time searching for a reason to honestly not go. Luckily, he ended up not answering anyway. I just wanted to ask him, is there parking? Because I had to drive to the city. And I did not want to drive to the city because I've never really had to drive to the city for a date before, literally ever. Usually people will send me a car, whatever the case is. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I don't mind. I do want to be in control of when I'm coming and going. It doesn't matter to me. Cool. So this guy literally messages me literally a minute after we were already supposed to meet. Mind you, he doesn't know where I live. He doesn't know how long it would take me to commute to the city. He ignored my message from hours before, and I saw that he read it around 5 something because I saw it said seen by 5. So whenever that is, he read it. He responded at 9:01 saying, hey, sorry, I got caught up. Can we do 9:30? And mind you, angels, I didn't see that message until the next day because he got moved into my general inbox, okay? That's where he got moved. You are not in my primary inbox anymore because this does not make any sense. And I don't want to see when you ever message me again because that is scary behavior. If you're the one asking me out, clearly you're bored on Valentine's Day too. The fact that you literally think that it's okay, you don't know where I'm coming from, you live in the city. A lot of people don't live in actual New York City, Manhattan, okay? So you don't even know where I'm coming from, how long it's gonna take me to commute. You're not considering how long it took me to get ready. You're disrespectful at this point, okay? So I don't want anything to do with you, and that's that on that. And the point is, this guy had the gut and the gall, the audacity to actually message me again, I think 2 days later, and start a new conversation. Now you're ignored. Now you're getting left on scene because that type of behavior will not be entertained by me because any response from me, if I give him a little bit of an attitude, I don't want to come across as I literally care. And it's not that I'm trying to look cool. I just genuinely don't have emotion towards that, nor do I feel emotionally invested in any capacity enough, nor should I be, to even check this person's behavior. We have to learn to pick and choose our battles. That ties into saving yourself emotionally. Again, logic, balancing the logic, balancing the emotion. Pick and choose your battles. You cannot check every single person that does you wrong, and especially when you haven't even, if you haven't even met that person or anything like that. Like, to me, I don't feel the need to go and check every single person that, especially in this case, there was no need. So what do? I honor that by ignoring that. That's the amount of attention I'm gonna give that individual because I don't want anything to do with anyone that's gonna behave in that manner. And if I would have entertained it any longer, thinking that I was gonna get somewhere, I'm clearly letting him know how you behaved was okay, and that behavior is subject to happen again. Period. In conclusion, angels, this is the bottom line. At some point in our lives, we have to learn to avoid the same situations from happening over and over again. When I mention the term saving yourself, I mean that in every capacity. It's an umbrella term for saving yourself emotionally, saving yourself physically, saving yourself mentally from the collateral damage of potentially entering in or repeating a pattern of toxicity in your relationships. If we do not take the time to pause and reflect on what each situation has taught us, then we make ourselves susceptible to falling into the lap of whoever is open. And people that are just open and 24 hours, they really don't have high standards now, do they? Right? It's kind of like going to an expensive restaurant. They're more than likely able to cater to your dietary needs than a fast food chain restaurant or even maybe a diner because they don't have the flexibility to personalize to fit your dietary needs. So that's why in a lot of cases, when it comes to quality, you do get what you pay for. You know what they say, you are what you eat, so don't be fast, cheap, and easy. I love that saying. So if you think about it as it pertains to how you think about yourself and who you choose to give yourself to by depending on your threshold for how whatever you think, and you have to have answers for these questions. What do I feel like is worth giving myself over to someone? I cannot go do that. An emotional response would be, he has shown me consistency for 2 weeks. He has shown me consistency for 1 month. It doesn't matter. If he's not committed to you, he always has that ability to just walk away. You cannot check him or he cannot be accountable for anything if that's not your man. Save yourself. You are your own rescue. Also, in addition to that, they also say that when you lay with someone, you become their equal. So think about this even on a spiritual level, right? When you are with someone that maybe you are not able to identify it at the moment, but they are neglectful of your emotions, your needs, they ignore you, they're ghosting you. Is that how you treat yourself? So why would you accept someone like that into your life, into your body? I mean, that's just a good question for the people because we don't realize on a spiritual level, on a deeper level, that there's nothing casual about there's nothing casual about it. And maybe to some, they feel that they can do that. But on this channel, no matter how progressive we are, when it comes to things like that, you do not open yourself up to so much foreign energy and toxicity, because sometimes people, guys will use intimacy as a vehicle to just dump and unload a lot of things onto you, especially, hello, angels, when you don't know somebody like that and there's no way you could in 2 weeks. That is not a sound decision to make. And I know that sounds harsh, and the older that you become, you will make more sound decisions. So I say this in peace and love, genuinely, that you guys have to start thinking about who you're allowing into your lives, who you're allowing into your body. That's it. That will save you from a lot of things. And it's a very powerful place to come from. It's a place of strength. Honoring your body, your feelings, your intuition, balancing the logic and the emotion, knowing that you are your own rescue. You're not a victim. You're not waiting for this, relationship or any relationship to fix all your issues. You're aware, you make sound decisions, and this is not to say we're perfect, and if we don't, if we mess up a couple times here and there, angels, that's normal. You're gonna mess up a million times, you are. But if you keep these things, keep this in your head, watch this video a million times, just hear me talk, run this video while you're in the shower, play this video while you're in your car on your way to work, play this video while you're doing your makeup. Just listen. You don't even have to look at me. I love you. Maybe you like my face. If you do, thank you. Mwah, I like yours too. But just listen. After all, I do post sit-down videos anyway. I'm not a vlogger, so you don't even have to really look at me when you do watch my videos. You really don't. And additionally, saving yourself from a heartbreak would be not allowing your emotions to dictate your body, because that is reserved for men who are decisive and ready to commit. Not willing, but ready. Because willing almost teeters on the line or the fence of potential. We want people that are decisive and ready, okay? We are not gonna deal with emotionally unavailable men. We're also not gonna deal with the opposite side of the spectrum, men that wanna commit to us in 3 days and a week, and it just feels very premature because they are rushing, and is how it starts is how it begins. If they wanna rush into things in the beginning, rush to get that commitment out of you, rush to get you to open up, they're gonna leave just as fast. Trust and believe. It's not normal. It's not normal. And what is normal these days? But it's not normal. That much I know. So remember, do not get gaslighted. Why do we have to follow society's rules? Why can't we just do us for us, be us? No, you do you on your own. What you're not going to do, boo, is me. What I'm going to do is not waste my time on you. How about that? My body, my choice. This is why we don't let men promise, include us in their fake future, giving us all this lip service, and we're allowing them into our bodies without mutually aligned expectations. We want us all of a sudden ask, what are we? After we've already made that mistake, because it's an overcorrection for what we did. Now I feel, why? We cannot act on consequence anymore, angels. Save yourself. Save yourself. Part of saving yourself also is preventative measure. It's kind of like Botox. I really need to get an extra battery, angels. I'm actually finishing up this video vlog style. I hope my hand is steady because, yes, you guessed it, my battery had literally exhausted. So lastly, I promise in conclusion, what I wanted to say was that saving yourself is not only about waiting for that commitment, but it's also just saving yourself from potential extra baggage and the collateral damage that comes with certain unhealthy dynamics and things of that nature. So I genuinely really hope that this video has resonated with you guys. Oh, and before I go, yes, use code ASHA20. It'll be in the description box below too. Make sure that you get that mask. We're detoxing from toxic situations. We're detoxing from old mentalities, and we're detoxing our skin and our bodies too. Okay? And do not forget that I love you and God loves you. And I will see you beautiful angels in my next video. Mwah.